You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
This is the Daniel Monday Night Community Show on demand through YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing to listen to us through this method. If you'd like to keep up to date with when I add new interviews, then subscribe to this channel. So we're going to be joined on the phone with our regular slot from Ideas Test. Firstly, thank you very much for joining us. It's great to have you back. I was hoping you could introduce yourself to our listeners firstly.
Oh, thanks, Daniel. It's Bethan here. I work on the community programme, so reaching out to places like Castle Connections, up in Sheerness and across in Medway as well. So that's my job with Ideas Test.
So I was hoping you could next start off by telling us what's happening over the next month at Ideas Test number 34.
Yeah, well, the very first thing I can tell you is actually that we've got somebody else join the team who's fantastic. A youth programme manager called Frances, and she's really experienced in education and the arts. She actually used to be a head teacher at a primary school, but we're just so incredibly lucky to have her on board. She'll be going to be in charge of all the projects for young people in Swale and Medway. And it's just so brilliant to have somebody who's got that practical experience of working with young people. You know, she looks around our building with such fresh eye and goes, oh, we could do this, and then we could have this group and this group in. So, yeah, really excited about having her in. And we have got absolutely tons of stuff for young people at the moment. We might have talked before about our Disquiet project. We have got a deadline looming for that. It's going to be next Monday, the 8th of May, but let me tell you a little bit about what it is. We are working with an organisation called Musical Futures. It's a funded project, and it's all about getting young people to teach more young people how to have confidence that they can be involved in music, in the music industry. And what they do, Musical Futures run a scheme called Just Play. And it's really about taking away some of the formality that you might think might be involved in pursuing music. So it's about using that, you know, having that listening power that some people have it, don't they? I did. But it's about building that. So some people have it naturally. It's about making people feel confident that they can have it. I know I've always thought that anyone can sing. I know that's true, and it's really very much the same thing. So in the first tranche of work that we're going to be doing on this Disquiet project, it's for 16 to 19-year-olds, and it's bringing in those music leaders. It's an amazing experience. So they can put it on their CV for a start. If anybody's thinking about uni, it's great to put on your UCAS application. You don't actually have to know how to read music, but what you do have to do is have a passion for it. There is an online form. We've got a Disquiet link on our website if people want more information.
Right.
And just to reiterate that the deadline for that for the 16 to 19 age group is next Monday, the 8th of May. There is a small bursary for that to help with any travel costs. And we're going to be working in 2 centres. So we'll be using our office space at 34 in Sittingbourne High Street. Really easy to get to. And then we'll also be working across in Medway as well. So there are 2 bases for that. So if people live closer to Medway, obviously or in Medway, in fact, that's obviously where they can go and have that experience there. The second phase will be where those 16 to 19-year-olds then teach what they've learned to 11 to 16-year-olds. But we'll give you more information about that when we're at that point, and we can actually give you the offer so people know what they can do then. So that's the first thing, Frances, is she's had to hit the ground running, I can tell you. And then the other thing that she's heading up is our Creative Job Club, of course, which is for 18 to 25-year-olds. It's really for anybody who's interested in pursuing a career in creative industries or culture in its broadest sense. So it could be anything from computer, game design, fashion, it could be nail art, it could be social media, virtual reality. Somebody told me it's something like Oculus Rift. Is that right, Daniel? Am I saying that right? I'm not a techie.
No, it could be right. I don't know myself.
listeners, please write in and tell me if I'm right for pronouncing that right. But yeah, anything like that. Or it could be something more traditional if people are interested in, maybe somebody's even doing the Disquiet project and thinks, I really, I want more support on actually turning this into a career. So what we'll be doing with the Creative Job Club, we'll be providing mentors and actual real work experience. So we're not talking about coming in and making coffee. We're talking about people coming in and having the opportunity to really see what happens when you are involved in either being freelance as a creative professional or working in an organisation. So, it's budgets, it's marketing, it's the legal side of it. And also, excitingly, it's the storytelling about promoting what your passion is, who you are, what you do, and selling that on to people. So again, people can feel confident that they can go into an interview or they can present their CV and that they would, they'd be able to nail it, that they'd be able to go in and get anything that they put their mind to. So we are looking at, there's a deadline in the middle of June for that. With Frances starting, we have just extended that deadline just because we wanted to give her the chance to really sort of come in and get a hold of that particular project. So that will be Monday, 19th of June. But you can contact us via the website or by email for any more information if that really sounds just up your street. Okay, so obviously we've got loads of other stuff going on at 34. We've actually got a year-long bit of work that we're doing with Swale Seniors Forum, and we're doing that in association with Swale CVS. And we've talked to this group, Swale Seniors Forum, who are a group of people who are 55 and older. So obviously it's a huge demographic, widely ranged interests, and we're providing every fortnight. We've got either a film, a craft activity, a movement session, or a talk from somebody who is working in the field. So we're going to have Richard Emmett from the Historical Society. He's going to give our talk, but it could be a music talk, it might be a photography group. But what we've got coming up tomorrow, 2nd of May, 2 till 4, we've got our craft club. It's with somebody called Laura Murphy, who listeners may be aware of. She concentrates on recycling, upcycling. So just to explain a bit about what that might be, I suppose traditionally you might think of something like reupholstering a chair. It's taking something that's an old item that's had loads of life and love and giving it a bit more life and love and maybe painting it and decorating it. And really, Laura's going to be teaching some of the techniques so people could obviously make gifts if they wanted, or if there's something where they've always thought, it'd be fantastic to take a frame and give it a new lease of life. So that's what Laura's going to be doing. All of our Young at Heart events are free, and we've got refreshments. Of course, can't have a craft session without tea and cake. But also, there's another thing that we're doing with Young at Heart. We welcome absolutely anybody over 55 to these sessions. Real mixed group. But one of the things, sorry. So again. So we welcome anybody to these sessions who's 55 and over. But one of the things we're doing with Young at Heart is Swale CVS have actually partnered us so that they can provide some free transport if people do need it. So they've got their volunteer drivers scheme, and if any of the listeners would love to come along this week or the next session in a fortnight's time, any time throughout the year, they can book a place with a volunteer driver. If they ring Chris on 01795 473828, that's 01795 473828, they can book a volunteer driver to pick them up and bring them to the high street. Because obviously, sometimes getting around can be really difficult. It can be really difficult for anybody. But we know that buses finish really early. We're really keen to make it as easy as possible for as many people as possible. So obviously, if you want that number, it's on our website, and we can give that to anybody who wants it to. So that's a lovely thing we're doing. we've got our new Artist of the Month exhibiting. We've got Mike Snar, and he is putting up some photographs around the May Day Sweeps Festival. So really excited to have that up around, because obviously we have the Sweeps Festival in Medway every year, hugely popular event, and it's just brilliant to have these photographs. They're really evocative, and it's just a nice bit of sort of social history in a way. I mean, we always sort of think of history as being 500 years ago, but actually even just looking back at our own photographs over, the last few years, it's lovely, isn't it? So Mike Snar's going to have black and white photographs, all the sorts of people, the costumes, dances, traditions that happen in Sweeps. And that's on from the 6th to the 31st of May. Regular opening hours. People are welcome any time to come in and wander around, have a look, let us know what they think about it. So, picking up on those traditional things, on Saturday coming up, 11 till 2, we're going to be doing some basket weaving, some more traditional folk-inspired things. Although, actually, we're not going to use traditional materials. We're not going to use wicker or anything like that. We're going to pick up on what Laura is teaching us in the upcycling session. We're going to use materials that you might already have at home, which is something we feel quite passionately about, that we really like running sessions, drop-in sessions where people can have a go, but also they can either carry on at home with materials they've got, or we can let people know what, we can inspire people to do it themselves at home, because they don't have to go order anything special off the internet. So I won't give a spoiler about what we're going to use, but it'll be household materials to do some baskets. So that's on Saturday. Wednesday the 10th, we've got something coming up. It's actually not our activity, but I thought I'd just give it a shout out, because it's really a really lovely event we've got coming into 34. So Wednesday the 10th, we've got Code Club. Code Club UK run after-school events for people who want to learn how to code. There's a lot of that about, isn't there, I believe?
Yes, it's very popular at the moment.
Really popular. I took my kids to Geek in Margate, and they loved it. They did a bit of Raspberry Pi or BBC Microbits, that's the sort of thing. So Code Club are going to be in 34 on the 10th of May from 6:30 till 8. So if you want more information, we'll obviously have that available for anyone who checks the website. But yeah, as I say, that's their event, but just sounds like such a great opportunity. Okay, so Saturday, 13th of May, we're going to be doing flower garlands, but again, a bit of a twist on a traditional theme. So if you don't have green fingers, no worries. We're going to make paper flowers and garlands to wear. And then a bit of notice for something we're doing on the 17th of May. We've got a programme of work called Confidence to Create, which listeners may have heard about before. It's a regular thing that we do, but actually we're going to have an all-day session. So quite often we run them in the evening so people can drop in after work. Maybe they've always sort of enjoyed doing baking or tinker skills, and they kind of think, you know what, I could do more with this. It's really aimed at people who have a sort of hobby that they just enjoy doing quietly and maybe think they'd like to develop it further. So really this is about just either you've come to a little bit of a block or you think you want to take it further. It's run by Gordon Lamont, who is a former BBC producer. He makes films for BBC still. He works at Parliament. And what he does, he uses sort of workshop techniques in the gentlest possible way. So it's really, they're really easy to get on with. Nobody's put on the spot or anything like that. Simple activities that can just give you that boost. So either taking your ideas further or just giving you that reassurance that they are, great ideas that can be progressed. So all day, 10 a.m. till 4:30 on the 17th of May. It's going to be a special ticketed event with guest speakers, including women who work in field. Really, a great opportunity to be inspired and think, yeah, I could do that. So, and then sort of finishing off our roundup, we've got our half term coming up. We're going to be doing more folk crafts. One that I've been getting very excited about is peg dollies, making some peg dollies. I've been having a little bit of practice at home to see how that might play out, but we'll get lots of bits and bobs of collagey stuff, fabrics out, and people can have a go at making their own peg dollies. But lots more stuff drop in during the half term, May half term, as you'd expect. So yeah, it's another busy month, Daniel.
It certainly sounds like it, and as always, I'd like to thank you very much for coming along and talking to us and letting us know what's happened this month. As always, it really is appreciated.
Oh, it's such a pleasure to be on here. Thank you so much for having us. Thanks to listeners for all their joining in as well. I mean, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Thanks, Daniel. I'll speak to you really soon.